So guys, in this video, I'm going to be answering the big question that you saw in the title. Why do most people fail at KDP? And guys, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, then do give it a subscribe, especially if you're serious about self-publishing, as I bring up videos like this on my self-publishing journey and all the hints, tips and tricks that follow. So do give it a subscribe if you haven't done so already. And likewise, join my Facebook group if you haven't done so already. We're a community of self-publishers, all with a mutual goal of finding success through online publishing. And of course, if you're new to KDP, then do give the free course a checking out by the Residual Royalty Academy. It's a quality course that's going to help you get comfortable with the publishing cycle. And once you are, then check the Royalty Accelerator course. If you click in the description below, it should be discounted to $99. It's helped me and so many other people with publishing. But guys, really, without further ado, let's get into the question that I've put in the title of this video. Why do most people fail at KDP? Now, to answer that, I've been thinking of really good quotes on the matter, and I've literally put the best one here on this next slide. I'm not going to mess around. And this is the quote. KDP is a passive income business, but the moment you start treating it like one, then you have lost. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you that KDP is passive income, and they're not lying to you. Whoever you listen to on KDP, they will tell you it's passive income. If you ask them it, especially, they will tell you, and they're not lying about it. They're telling the truth. They're being genuine about it. But you can't treat the business as passive income. You can't publish a few books and think, okay, I'm going to sit back and lay on the beach, especially if you're starting out. If you've been in the business for a few years and you're earning a successful income, however you determine successful, then fair enough. You've got a bit more leeway in terms of how much you can relax. But if you're starting out, don't think of it as a passive income. Let me show you why. If you align with this goal, then we're good. But essentially, if you do no and low content publishing, right, this is going to be the goal. If you disagree, then this video really won't apply to you. But you're going to be publishing books and you're going to want some, right, that are going to take off, right? You publish, like, I don't know, like thousands of books. Yeah, in the hope that 1, 2, 3, or even 10 books get to a point where it's a #1 bestseller, where it's got tons of reviews, 5-star average, and you're really just sitting back. You can picture yourself sitting back, you know, on a beach, on holiday, whatever, and the sales are rolling in because you've got one book that's pretty much unstoppable, no matter how much competition's in that niche. I saw a gratitude journal in there, I saw sketchbooks in this, I've seen handwriting books, I've seen so many books that have done this, and you just want the same sort of success with your own books. So you're publishing, right? There's going to be so many things that are going to stop you from getting in the way. There's 3 specifically that have come to my mind. But like, you've got #1 here, which is competition. So you've published, right? You've done your niche research, which is good. You've done good niche research. You've got good keywords on there. You've got a lovely design for your book. You published it. But then, like, you've got to remember that so many people at the same point in time are going to be working, trying to find these niches as well. So many people have just found your niche, and they're also publishing in that niche. They've also got really nice designs. They've got really nice keywords. And honestly, like, your book looks like it's geared to be successful, but someone else takes it. Someone else, you know, has more reviews than you do, and their sales will start to snowball instead of yours. And that's something that's going to be blocking you getting to your goal. Now, I'm not saying only one book can have the bestseller badge and 10,000 reviews. I mean, I've seen like 10 bestseller badge in one niche before. But really, it could just be down to luck. I mean, like, you both publish your book at the same time and they happen to get a 5-star review before you do. So obviously, if you're a customer and you see 2 very similar books in a niche and one has a 5-star review and yours doesn't have any, then they're going to pick the 5-star review, generally speaking, unless obviously the pricing or a few other factors. So that's something that can be preventing you from getting to your goal, competition. And that's one reason why you've got to keep publishing. Number 2 are 1-star reviews. So you've uploaded a book, a nice design, nice niche, and everything's looking great. The keywords are there, and your book looks like it's geared up for success. Like, you start getting sales as you'd expect, but then all of a sudden Susie comes along, buys the book, and then leaves a 1-star review as the first review, saying that's not what I was looking for. And it was nothing to your fault. I mean, you put the right title, the right description, like, you've done your research, your niche research showed that the interior is correct. It's just genuinely what she wasn't looking for, and she decided to leave a 1-star review, not knowing the impact it would have. And there's nothing you can do about that. Your sales start to fall off from that book, you know, as it's got a 1-star, and no one's going to buy a 1-star reviewed book. And honestly, like, you've blown it. So on that account, you just can't sit back. And number 3 is the Amazon black hole. This is another genuine thing where you got your niche research correct, you got your keyword research correct, you got the design correct, everything's looking perfect, but then your book never makes a sale, and you just don't know why. But the Amazon algorithm hasn't favored your book, and no one can find it. It's just literally hit a black hole where it never makes a sale. And this is a genuine thing that's happened to myself. It's happened to other people, and that's why the 80-20 rule applies specifically. But what do these 3 all have in common, guys? Well, they have in common that we can't control them, so we don't focus on it, guys. We can't control, right, the Amazon algorithm. We can't control how many other people are publishing in our niches. We can't control Susie leaving a 1-star review because she didn't read the book description properly. Like, these are things we can't control, so we don't focus on them. What we do focus on is the one biggest thing that we can control, and that's our work ethic. So we focus on that. But then when I say work ethic, how much time then should we really be putting in our publishing business, especially if we start out? I mean, can we do this part-time? Well, the matter of time is really, really not a simple answer. I can't tell you you've got to do at least amount this time or that time. But instead, what I think will be more helpful to you as the viewer is if you see what I have done over the past year and a bit in my publishing career, and how much time I spent on average on my publishing business. So I'm going to show you my earnings graph over time, and obviously to you this is just a graph that looks like the earnings are increasing, but to me this shows me phases in my publishing business, the differences in attitudes that I had, and the different circumstances that I found myself in. So I started in April 2019, and when I started I was at university. So during university I was doing my chemistry masters, so I could only do publishing for maybe 1-2 hours a day, and I came in thinking this was pretty passive income as well. I thought, cool, this is going to set me up for after university. This is going to be another second stream of income that would be ideal for me as I get a job. So I did this passively at the start. It went from $20 in April to around $80 in June, and for the amount of work I did, so remember I did 1 to 2 hours a day, I was quite demotivated because after 2 months I didn't even hit 100. So I actually left KDP for a whole month, and you can see that my sales dropped to 35 in July. I really got demotivated in that period, but then I saw success people were having on YouTube. I saw the success other people that started a similar time of me were having, and I thought, okay, cool, I really, like, there is potential here, there is scope for making 4 figures a month. So I went back to KDP at the end of July, and I started publishing composition notebooks because that's a niche that I found that was doing really well. So I found composition notebooks. I published it in August, as August was a good month for it because everyone was turning back to school. And I'd say I did KDP part-time, 4 to 6 hours a day. I'd used to go to the library, I'd cycle there, I'd sit in the library for a few hours, listen to music, niche research, publish the book, and then come home and relax. So that was between 12 and 6. Normally on daily, I would do that. And you can see that my income has actually increased from 230 in August to around $2,600 in December. So it's absolutely stunning to see the growth that I've had. And for all intents and purposes, part-time 4 to 6 hours a day looked like it worked. But then I saw YouTubers doing over $10,000 a month from KDP, and I only did a measly 2,600. So actually, in my mind, I was like, actually, that's not so good. And then, of course, by the time it got to January, it dropped back down to 1,500, even though this was increased from November. So I was quite happy about that. I was like, I still have quite a lot of money out of university. So I found, believe it or not, a 9-to-5 job. And this was in sales. I started that at the end of January, and I did that until the end of March. And as you can see, my sales began to stagnate. Now, of course, this might have been down to Corona, but putting in 2 hours a day definitely didn't help. I mean, I published when I could on the weekends and on my train journey to and from work, but I couldn't put as many hours in as I did before, and you can really see the sales stagnate. So at the end of March, I left my job in sales, and then from the end of March till now, I've been doing this full time. I think the biggest thing the job taught me is the discipline of, you know, getting up at an early time and then staying late with working. I mean, I used to do publishing 4 to 6 hours a day, and now I do it to 10 to 12 hours a day, because I tell myself, right, if I was going to work 8 hours a day for a job that I didn't actually particularly like, I mean, sales, I didn't actually particularly like when I come to think about it. If I was going to do 8 hours of work a day for a job I didn't like, then why would I not spend at least 8 hours a day on something that eventually is going to give me the freedom to work anywhere? Do you get what I mean? So with this in my mind, I kept telling myself that, and that's why I work 10 to 12 hours a day like I do. And you can see the results have been stunning from it. Again, maybe down to coronavirus, it's given me a nice boost on my earnings, but regardless, you can see how much extra I've made in April and May compared to March. In April, we did over $1,000 more than in March, and in May, we did over $700 more than in April. So the results are great to see. We're always increasing. The only months that I haven't increased are from December to January and June to July. So it's really, really good to see. And you can draw your own conclusions from what you've seen in this video. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, like this is the only factor that's gone to contribute to my success on KDP, the amount of time that I've put in, but I think it's a very, very big factor. So take what you will from what you've just seen. But yeah, this is my recommendation. Don't treat it, KDP, like a passive income business. And if you can see yourself working 8 hours in a job you don't like, then why would you not work at least 8 hours on something that's going to give you this level of freedom, guys? That's really it from me. I'll leave it at that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and of course drop a comment if you want to see more videos like this. But otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on Thursday. Bye bye.